The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome, traders and traderettes, to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour. Boy, what a difference can 24 hours make. Yesterday, it looked like we had about the 10th confirmation that we had a high in the marketplace. Pretty much evaporated today. I have been pretty much a ultra Kodiak bear in this marketplace. I still think there is significant downside risk. We're up almost 12 points on the S&P cash, turning over just a little over 2 billion shares as we start the day. So volume acceptable, good, no. But I went ahead and covered all my short positions earlier today. And I will tell you why as we get a little deeper into this broadcast. Not just that the market's coming up, but it has done something that it really has never done before. So we'll talk about that. Had some questions in the den. You can always email me at path@tfnn.com or call me at 877-927-6648. And as I have time, I'll go through some of the trades, some of my winners, some of my losers. But it could have been a ton worse. One of the worst things that you can do is get into these narrow range of markets and chase them up and chase them down. Basically, I'd been short for the last 4 weeks, added some more, and for the most part, I'm walking away probably not any better or worse for wear, but some of these have worked out, some of them have not. And I have shorted some of the strongest stocks in the marketplace and walked away with at least a few pennies. The question is, what is the market going to do next? And we're going to get into that in today's show. Plus, we've got a ton of charts to look at later in the day. We've got questions already in the den, and we'll bring those up. And it's just going to be a busy show out here today. Anyway, as always, we like to start off with a little market history. This day in 1929, the most notorious pool or stock manipulation of the 1920s hits its peak as RCA hits a new high of $115. Probably wouldn't have been a big deal, but it was 73 times earnings, and that's even the forward earnings that they were looking at. 17 times book value. It was the RCA, the .com stock of the day. It was being bought and sold, and Mr. Chrysler, Mr. General Motors, and most of the other people from Rockefellers and all those guys. Most of the very smart guys got out of the top. Most of the rubes followed in, and losses in the next year were 77%. And, of course, this brings in the herd mentality, especially of those that are less experienced in trading, and the people that really are the insiders. In those days, there weren't the big broker dealers putting everything together. It was all individuals that had huge concentrated amount of cash. Today, it is the broker dealers who drive the marketplace. And one of the events, I think, is the reason why we are probably going higher in this marketplace, probably through mid, maybe even 3/4 of the way through April. And I'll talk about that reason in a minute. Other things that happened in 2000, since I lived through this, fairly interesting, and I got a taste of it. I was not short the day that MicroStrategy on this day in 2000 went from $246.75 to $86.75 in a single day, as basically everybody said that they would have to restate earnings if you looked at the price and the movement of MicroStrategy at that time, there was no way you could have been long the stock if you knew anything about timing the trade. There was no volume at the top. Apparently, everybody on Wall Street knew it was a fraud. Of course, the CEO gets charged with $8 million fine. Not near what he should have, and probably should have been thrown in jail. By year end of that year in 2000, the stock will be at $9.50, a 96% fall in 9 months. And what I do want to bring up in this is the risk in the market when we're at highs for companies not really making any money, or companies with stories that are just a little too good to believe that are true. And we've got a ton of these stocks out here that could grow at their current rate and take 20 or 30 years to probably work into their current value at any kind of reasonable idea. Now, maybe some of these companies do have the power to turn lead into gold. I don't think so. Pretty much against all the rules of physics, but some people believe that they do. There always is a sucker born every day, and some of these fairly expensive stocks with mild earnings, and of course, nothing worse than a company with a good product selling for 1,000 times its forward PE, because people always say, yeah, but it's a great company. Yeah, but you're paying $1,000 to get $1 back. Probably not a fairly decent idea in a way to make money long term. But we will continue on that. Had a couple of emails, some kind, some not so kind, some ambiguous. One of the questions was, I know you've been very adamant about being short. And one of the reasons that I was the evidence. Mr. Keynes, pretty famous economist, once said in an argument, heated argument, on the floor of, I think, the New York Stock Exchange, as it was reported, once said he changed his mind about something, and someone started giving him a hard time, and he said, well, when the evidence changes, I change my mind. What do you do, sir? In fact, I always liked that about people in the 20s and 30s. It was, instead of dropping the F-bomb and calling them racial epithets and shaking their fist at them, and it was always, good day, sir. That kind of like, wow, well, it's time for you to leave. Today, probably not as polite, but there was always that, good day, sir. Good day. I've got to take my monocle out. Well, I always enjoyed that. One of the things that he did was, and what I was waiting for was the evidence to say that things were changing. One of the gentlemen in the Tiger's Den, has a particularly good attitude, I think. And one time he said something, and many times he says, I'm often wrong. This is not a business that you're going to have and bat 1,000%. In fact, if you can bat 300, maybe 250, and keep your losses low, you can probably make a fine income. I look and try to trade on asymmetrical bets. That is, to me, if I make 5% on a stock, I kind of look at it as a failure. I'm looking for 30, 40, 50% moves in stocks. I'm willing to take a lot of small and smaller losses. To me, it's no big deal. It's like going up to the plate. You're not going to hit 750 all summer long. And you can make a great deal of money in baseball batting 280, 300, 350. You're making some big wood. Now, the difference in the stock market is that, and especially in a market like this, if you have a major move and you can limit your losses and basically leverage your wins, sometimes with options. There are going to be a few times when you can make a lot of money. Anyway, back to John in the Den. He was saying something one day, and I'd read this many times from Michael Jordan, and it is appropriate. We are going to be wrong sometimes, and sometimes it's not going to be huge, but we will be wrong. Michael Jordan said, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. On 26 occasions, I've been entrusted to take the game-winning shot, and I missed. And I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is precisely why I have succeeded." And kind of a way to think about it out there. It is a numbers game. I am one more number into coming into my next big trade. I will keep a superior and positive attitude and look for my next opportunity. Interestingly enough, I just had to, if anybody can explain this to me, I am willing to listen. Last night in an interview with a San Diego TV station, President Obama said that Putin was acting out of weakness when he invaded Crimea and annexed it. And after the comments of today, can I believe that Estonia is next, and that we're going to see the endless progression of the Russian Empire come back at us? But to me, probably not a lot of weakness in what Putin is doing. And, of course, this is Thursday, so I'm going to be very interested in looking at all these grain trades, especially with the idea that pretty much well spoken that we're going to do nothing if Russia decides to just go ahead and invade the Ukraine and take it over in Estonia and Latvia and all those other little countries. But pretty much announced that we'll do nothing but maybe fine a few of the guys that make a lot of money sitting around on their 650-foot yachts. So, yeah, I'm willing to listen to anybody explain to me how Putin did that out of weakness. To me, speaks of strength. Now, here is my thinking in the market. And that is that we have Alibaba coming, and it will be the largest single IPO the way they have it worked out now. I am scared snotless that people would buy this stock. And the reason why is things are starting to leak out already. This is going to be, probably since the producers, one of the biggest nothings that you will be able to buy. Maybe they will be able to sell 1,000% of the shares. Anyway, we'll be back, and I'll talk about why Alibaba should scare the living poo out of you. Be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Hecht will be hosting his first paid workshop on TFNN, the Techno-Mental Trading Method, which is taking place Friday, March 28th from noon till 3:30 Eastern Time. Relying on his decades of experience as a professional commodities trader for some of the largest and most well-respected firms in the business, Andy will be teaching for 3 full hours discussing the application of the technomentals he uses when trading commodities, futures, inter and intra-commodity spreads, commodity-related stocks, ETFs and ETNs, and related options, and much more. You'll receive an added bonus of a quick reference guide that Andy has put together for everyone that attends that breaks down the U.S. traded commodity-based ETF and ETN products available to you as a trader. The Techno-Mental Trading Method, Friday, March 28th from noon till 3:30 Eastern Time. This workshop will be archived so that if you can't attend live, you can view it whenever you'd like on demand for 30 days. For all the details and to reserve your spot today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And back to Alibaba. One of the reasons I bring this up is they are looking to bring out Alibaba, and some of the documents have leaked about what they're going to do and how they're going to set up the corporate governance of Alibaba. And it will be very interesting. There's a few things that you should know. One, if you buy a share in Alibaba, at least you think you're going to be buying a share in Alibaba, you will not. You will be buying a share of a holding company that owns another company that is owned by the previous company, owned by the previous company, by about 5 levels. Because of that, they will be able to shield any of the U.S. government's efforts to go in and look and inspect the books. So when you buy this, you're going to have 100% total faith that the Chinese will not lie about their books, because you will never be able to see them. And that was the first part of it. 2, because of the way that the laws are written, you can only own a company in China if you live there. So basically, the whole thing is going to be set up where there are going to be some people that, quote, quote, own the company. And, of course, they're giving their shares to the holding company, and it goes upstream. But China is not willing to let anybody come in and take a look at the books and or audit them. So you're going to have to live with a company that's kind of like the one we talked about before. Maybe the books are right, maybe the books are not right. But the question is, will you spend your money on a company that is probably as bloated and as pumped as any other. Certainly a big company, and if you believe the books that you cannot see, they are doing huge amounts of money. The only thing is, of course, since you can't look at their books, maybe they're telling the truth, maybe they are not. Now, is that the kind of company you want to invest in? Well, it's certainly the 5 biggest Wall Street banks, Goldman Sachs, Merrill, all the other usual suspects, plus another 20 underwriters will be pushing this out. So we're going to have somewhere between 25 and 28 banks pushing Alibaba stock out on the American public and anybody else that they can find with a buck or two to rub together to buy this company. Now, certainly a big company, and by all stretches of the imagination, is doing considerable amounts of business. The question is, there's about 28 cities that they do 95% of their business in. The question is, will they be able to go to the next, let's say even 12 or 25 markets below that? And it is questionable. They also have huge market share already. If someone has a computer and can buy and sell stuff, they will. Now, it's also been kind of misdescribed. It is kind of talked about as the eBay and Amazon of China. It's slightly different. It's more like putting together buyers and sellers and selling ads along the way. It's really unclear how much money they're charging, how many customers are actually paying them to have advertising. And again, since you can't look at the books, nor will the FCC, the SEC ever be able to look at the books. 2, you will never be able to get anybody that commits fraud in that company to come to the United States to stand trial. So my question is there anything probably more dubious than this, especially at as the largest IPO of all time, coming out at $150 billion? The question is whether or not they can actually get that, but that's where the leaked documents so far are looking. But I think this should be a good indication that you should be scared. My question would be, how fast can the Chinese steal $150 billion? The answer is one signature. All it will take is one signature to do the exact same thing that Russia does to people it doesn't like that maybe owns oil wells. That's it. You're gone. You would have to sue in U.S. courts through all 5 holding companies to finally get to China. And at that point, 20 years into the future, I suspect you're not going to get jack. So if you want to be watching out for the next biggest producers style fraud, I can't guarantee it, but boy, is the house on fire on this one. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, just kind of checking in on the markets, kind of hanging out at the highs. Anyway, we're talking about Alibaba. I'm thinking this thing goes public somewhere between the 17th and 25th, something like that, of April. And maybe it's a little sooner than that. I don't know how quick they can force this whole thing through. Normally takes 2 or 3 weeks. I expect the filings for Alibaba to probably come in on Friday now that the documents have leaked, with so many people having their hands on them. But it is going to be interesting. Today, I've been writing about in the Tech Insider for, 8 months, that HP, Hewlett-Packard, was going to be getting into the 3D printer market, that they were going to use their experience in the actuators that actually move things like scanner heads around, that move the printer heads around, and their experience in making laser printers, all those kind of things would work and transport fairly well. Nothing better than them understanding the consumables game better than anybody in the world. We talked about several times, and I wrote about the last hurrah for a lot of these 3D companies that went ballistic. And, of course, just the incredible drumbeat of people trying to say that there was no end to the highs of 3D printers. I had gone through the similar thing in my business world in the 90s, where everybody was starting to talk about how everybody was going to be making movies in their basement, and they were going to be competing against all the people at Hollywood. And I thought it was laughable. The reason is there's so many things that you would have to be good at to actually compete with somebody in a movie from probably a big budget movie anyway from Hollywood, that I laughed. You have to know lighting. You have to know and be a good cameraman. You have to know how to write a script. You have to have a lot of different hats on. And maybe there's a few people that can do that. But probably 95% of the people are going to be missing one major item in the checklist of things to make great movies. And the idea was that we're going to send and sell this stuff for $10,000, $20,000. People are going to be making movies in their basement. Well, it never happened. You still needed to have 5, 10 people. You needed to have people on the set to move things around. It just never ended up being one of these things where one guy in a camera went out and made a huge movie and it became a monstrous success. You had probably 1 or 2 exceptions. The Blair Witch Project, where people took shaky cam video and made it work. But basically the same kind of hoopla and just ridiculous, non-thinking horse crap, pie in the sky kind of business. Is it a 3D printing a great business? Yes. Is it what they say it is? No. And that's why most of these stocks have been coming off fairly hard. I've been short, 2, 3 times, made some huge downside moves in X1, in DDD, and what have I hit them 4 or 5 times? It's pretty easy to see when these things are going to fail. The question is just how big is HPQ's news going to be when they roll out their deal in June? Everybody's already blowing and trying to spin this to pump back up these stocks. My guess is that most of these stocks have been blown up to supersized compared to the reality of how much money they're going to make. And today the big lie is that everybody is going to be buying them. Of course, though HP's getting in and going to have a big announcement in June, it's got to be that they're buying the existing companies, not that they've made their own thing. And, of course, that is the next big lie. HP has had a quiet business development, skunk works kind of operation going on for the last year and a half in Israel. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Not a lot of people get to see it. Probably going to get a rocket on your head if you do bother screwing around and having people lob rockets on you from Gaza. But they've had a well-funded, and it's been known for at least 2 years that they've been working on and bought a very small company to start getting into 3D printer business. But I'm going to have to say this is going to take 50% off the current price of most of these 3D printer stocks, and not weird that HPQ is up today a bit. Boy, we're going to have to move along. Let's see. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, in the euro, we're going to get to Microsoft in a minute. I got plenty of emails and even people talking about it in the den. But there's nothing really new. I've talked about exactly why Microsoft is up today, and we'll talk about it in a minute. UK FTSE's up, or was down 0.5%. Germany's DAX was up 0.2. France's CAC was up 0.5%. All whistling past the graveyard. Japan's Nikkei lost 1.7%. Hong Kong Hang Seng fell 1.8%, and the Shanghai Composite slumped 1.4%. And of course, get shorty. That's everybody after me, and it is a mad market. What I did want to get to was Microsoft. And nice move in Microsoft today, but nothing I haven't been talking about, and that is that there are about 250 million licenses for Windows XP around the world. Microsoft is closing all support for that on April 15th. And what else can you say? There's going to have to be probably 200 million or so upgrades, and that's going to be to Windows 7 or Windows 8 or something, but it's not going to be Windows XP. Most of the ISPs are getting ready to talk about cutting you off if you have a virus on Windows XP and refuse to fix it. So I think maybe you want to play on your tablet for a while, but eventually you're going to want to do a spreadsheet. Eventually you're going to want to do something that is not easy to do, like watch a movie on a tablet, and you're going to need to get your PC out. And, of course, PCs are content creation devices for the most part. Email, spreadsheets, writing documents, all those kind of things, pretty tough to do on a tablet. There's been a little discussion about Microsoft's Office coming to the iPad, which is nice. They're going to make some money. But more than anything, Microsoft is talking about doing the same thing that Adobe has done, and that is move into the area where you pay a subscription fee and move into that subscription fee on the long term. They've already been working on that with their Office 365. It's been doing well, and I think Adobe's news this week of them and the kind of money that they're making, one of the things Wall Street really likes is that that money's coming in every month will smooth out the peaks and valleys in earnings, and not only Adobe, but same thing for Microsoft. Also, I think the street likes the fact that Microsoft is pushing very hard to lower the cost of especially the tablets operating system, and in some cases even make it free to start competing at the lower levels. But in my view, 95% of all this move, probably above the $36 range, is all about the idea of the upgrade cycle that will start April 15th, when everybody finally wakes up and says Microsoft isn't going to kick XP down the road just a little bit further and let you use it another 6 months. If your setup goes belly up on April 16th, you will not be able to authorize it. And, of course, there will be no virus or operating systems upgrades, no matter how violent or virulent an infection you get. And most of the ISPs are looking to just shut off your ISP account because they know you're going to be the heaven and haven for huge amounts of viruses. But I think that's it. Microsoft's got a couple 100 million people. They're going to need to upgrade their PCs. Look at them getting an average of about $40 from that. That's quite a nice piece of coin in the upgrade cycle. Not everybody's going to need to buy a new computer, but there's still 200 to 250 million people stuck on XP that need to go to either Windows 7. They could go to Linux or something like that. In my experience, that doesn't last very long when they find out that they can't get any software that really does what they want to do. There's a handful of things, but that's about it. What do you make about the divergence between gold and the GDX? I'll think about that for a little bit. Maybe I'll close the show out with that. My guess is that we are looking at just the difference between and deflation, and we'll talk about. I'll probably talk about that in the last segment. A lot of companies movers today, and hopefully I've covered enough about Microsoft. But that's it. They got a lot of people need to upgrade their software. A Genius. This one was down a little harder at the beginning of the day, but still down on higher volume. Cato, my little yellow friend. Cato Corporation, this one's down, heavier volume, not a big volume stock to begin with, but out there it has busted the $26 low. So probably going to open up 23.88 and 22.18. CIDM. This one basically up here on pretty much the same volume. This thing just really couldn't ever get anything or a decent sign of strength up here at the highs. Rolled over on news today. See if there's anything else out here. X1, of course, was the 3D stock. This thing down on volume today. Probably heading back over time with back to its IPO price, which is around $25. But the company missed earnings. That's pretty much it. But when we look at all these, most of these things are a little weak. And, of course, that the fact that everybody's trying to spin HP getting into this business as HP buying these companies, I think speaks of the desperation. But I think we've got a lot of these companies set up for ABC downs and probably 50% haircuts off the current price between now and probably fall of this year. Those were the movers down. I have movers up here too. ASTM, nice move out of here. When we look at some of these biotechs out here, I mean, this is kind of what you're looking for on the bottom of these biotechs, which is just bouncing along the bottom. This thing actually started to move the 10th, and you got a sign of strength out of here, so that is going to be one of them. What else do we have? BG Medicine, BGMD. This thing's finally broken out. Had some nice volume a couple of days ago, right up to that $1.70 level. Broken out with significant volume today. But a lot of these penny stocks moving out here. Burlington Stores had decent earnings. This thing, one of the few retailers popping out, and maybe it's because they sell a lot of coats or jackets, and winter's been so brutally hard up north. But they're doing it fairly well today, up to $30.12. But volume, probably not as much as you'd like, but never been a big volume company. CSA Medical System, CASM is the symbol on this one. A nice spike, but of course not a big volume company. Let's see what else we have up here for IsoRay. Another one of these dollar stocks in the last couple of days, gone for a buck to $3.77 today, probably peaking out. But boy, if you could get this back to about $1.40 on light volume, that would be very interesting. Let's see what we have here. That's Sinotech, a biotech, SVA, another one up. This thing with a sign of strength. SVA up to $7.93 today. And everything you want in a sign of strength after a long consolidation. If you could get this thing back in and fill that gap, maybe back down to $7, I'll be watching for this one. Question of the den. What are options telling you? They're telling me to not look at options right now. This market has got a mind of its own, and it looks like it's destined for a blow-off top. We'll be back in a minute. I'll talk a little bit more about the divergence between gold and GDX. I think we're looking at deflation, and I think that's what it's telling us. We'll be back in a minute.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Join Andy Hecht as he teaches you how to make money in commodities. The Commodities Hour, next on TFNN.
And we got two things I need to get to before the end of the show. We'll talk about GDX at the end. Curious Jeff emailed me and said, I have a huge story. I'm no longer bearish. Probably wrong words that I used. I think that the market is going higher before it goes lower. I think that there are a great deal of problems. We could walk in any moment and see Russia invade Ukraine, and maybe Andy will talk about that. But everything I've heard over the last couple of days doesn't materially make me think anything's changed since peace in our time with Neville Chamberlain waving a piece of paper, giving away Poland to the Nazis in World War II to just push off the war just a little farther because you're not willing to live up to the reality. So my belief today is that what we have is a market that's going to roll up into the Alibaba IPO. And at that point, we have an opportunity for the next pullback. But my guess is we're probably going to pop up a little bit, maybe to 1,900 on the S&P cash, maybe pull back a little bit. They'll rally this market into the Alibaba IPO. The reason is that from the leaked documents, anywhere from over $1 billion to $1.5 billion is going to flow in of pure profit to Wall Street if they can get that IPO out at $150 billion valuation. And my guess is they're going to do everything it can. $1.5 billion, even on Wall Street, pretty good profit for a few weeks' work. And all you got to do is prop it up for 6 months. till you can get out the other side when your lockup period is over, and they'll do everything they can. The question is whether or not the market that is enough to suck enough air out of world markets to actually make a peak in the market. But my guess is that they are going to hold this thing up at least until that, if they can. So two things. That was one. The other one is that we came and tested a previous high on about half the volume in an index. I could never find where the S&P had ever done that and not instantly failed. That we came right back up here tells me that maybe something is wrong. I don't know what it is, but when in doubt, get out. So I covered my shorts today, and it is going to be a market that it's going to be interesting. Can we walk in any? This is why I will not be long. I can walk in any day and not be surprised to see the S&P open 50 points lighter. That is because we have a very light volume and a great deal of political instability around the world. And not only that, but even our friends we're throwing under the bus. The only democratically elected government in the Mideast, we can't do enough horrible things to. My guess is, of course, everybody else hates us for the NSA business. We've burned every bridge possible and pretty much decided that we were going to be an island once again. And, of course, that led exactly to all the problems in World War II. Being isolationists causes problems, doesn't solve them. At least history says that. Maybe there is some history where being an isolationist worked out for the better, but I have never found it. So, yeah, I think we've got just about everything out here, but we've got a little bit of deflation. We've got a giant IPO that's probably the equivalent of springtime for Hitler, and it is a lot of things. But can they hold this thing up one more month? I think that they can. I think that the move of the last day does say that, and I'm willing to pick my battles, and this is not one for probably the next 3 or 4 weeks that I want to be short the indexes. Probably some opportunities to go out there and hit some low-hanging fruit in the individual equities and ETFs, and that's what I'll be looking for in the near future. See you tomorrow, same bat channel, same bat time. So when you can, or cover.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.